Hi and welcome to this episode of CG Jam. In today's episode we are not going to be doing a tutorial as such. What we're going to be doing is taking a look at the 2.8 version of Blender, which is the new version that Blender developers have been working on for the past few months, and things are moving on and it won't be long before we have a beta version ready for bug testing. However, because it's so close, we will no longer be using 2.79. We will be closing that down permanently, and this is our new interface. Or at least this is what it's like for the time being. Things may change as improvements are made. So let's take a look at what we've got so far. Now things look different from the outset. We have a whole new theme, which is a lot nicer to look at and to work with. The dark theme is quite appealing in my opinion. In my workspace I would generally change the 2.7 workspace to something not exactly like this, but it was a similar kind of theme. So now this is what we have as default. Anyway, so things have changed and developers have been working on 2.8 for the past few months, and it's almost ready. Maybe by the end of August, like I said, for its first beta release, where we'll be able to bug test and get it ready for a full release, maybe sometime early or middle of September, hopefully. If not a bit later, we just have to see what's going on, because right now not everything is working. If we, for example, go into edit mode and if we hit tab, that still works. Things like the modifiers, let's add an array, count it up, you'll see nothing happens in edit mode, and yet go into object mode and it's applied. So they just need to make the adjustment so we can see what's happening in edit mode, and that's one issue that's not fully implemented. Post on my comment on my post, how nice. I'll look at that later, thank you. Okay, the biggest difference is our side panel is now easier to work with. We have simple buttons, like we can grab the manipulator tools directly from the side panel. Move, grab, transform gives us everything, so we can scale up, rotate, move, all in one widget, which is nice. All the crap that we had down the side has now been put into the top bar, so we can do things like add constraints from the menu, quick effects. All this used to be down on the bottom. Let's just open that up. See, we had our objects down here, quick effects, this is all the same, but we have all these nonsense here taking up space, and as you'll see we have all these tabs filling up the side panel. And it gets confusing, gets hard to see, you don't always know where things are. So we hit into 2.8 and all the things in the side panel have been moved in here. So now our shade smooth is in the panel, quick effects are still there, lots of things are still there. We can add our mesh from here, select options, view options, and the main tools we use, snapping, proportional editing, and our pivot points has been moved central, and we have these things called overlays, and our shading modes we now have options, so we can choose our matte caps from here, and we have a list of some new matte caps. These have been specially designed for 2.8 and they work in a slightly different way to 2.7, but at the end of the day they are just matte caps. We can turn them off. We have an X-ray option so we can see through our mesh. It doesn't really look much in 2.8 in object mode, so if we go to edit mode You can see we can see through our cube, see our rear vertices. However, things are not clickable through the mesh. We still have to press Z to make those accessible so we can see through the mesh. Z again, and we can no longer collect it. We can only click on the surface buttons. Okay, so that's all fun, and you'll see now that we are in edit mode, all our tools have been given their own buttons, and the cursor, which people found annoying because they were trying to click things and ended up moving the cursor around. The cursor now is on its own tool button, so instead of the cursor we can say choose select border, and now when we click our left mouse button we simply select and select border. If we look under the tool we can circle select, which is just the paint tool which we would normally use with the C key. You do have to hold down, and then the lasso select. I'm not sure. Alt right click, shift right click, control right click. Yeah, so control right click, left click, sorry, will turn the selection off. So we select, deselect, that's nice and easy. And then we have all the tools, whereas in 2.7 the tools were hidden. We had all these. Where are? Oh, we need to be in edit mode for this. So the tools would be in the thing, but if you would collect extrude region like so, duplicated that. Let's extrude region, and as soon as you move your mouse from clicking the button it starts to work, which is annoying, especially if you are wanting to do something. Right, let's insert faces and it's straight away happening, whereas in the new one you can select the tool. Let's extrude the region again, and now we have all these options. We can just simply go extrude from that, extrude on the X. The widget we have allows us to choose the direction in which we want to extrude. Go X again, and that extrudes along the view or the normals. That's another one of the good things about this, is all the tools have been updated and they have their own widgets. So if we take a look at the spin tool in 2.7, the spin tool would involve finding the position where we want to work, adding the 3D cursor, hitting the button, and then we have the panel down at the bottom that allows us to make the changes that we want. But you'll see, if you wanted a perfect position of your spin, then you would have to Control Z, move the cursor, spin again. Still not happy with it. Control Z, move the cursor, spin again, and it would just be a big mess and a big disaster. But in 2.8, if we go to the spin tool, if we just press spin, it still works around the 3D cursor. However, we now have this widget which allows us to, we can take hold of the widget, we can bring it in, find the position that we want, That looks better. That's nice. That's how I like it. And we can change the angle, make it more. And we can decide to duplicate that or have it simple, change the number of iterations. And everything is just here, right where we want it. Nice and easy. And still, even after those changes, if we want to make more changes, make that a bit tighter, we can. And even if we want to change the angle of rotation for the spin, we can do that too. So, huge improvements. Let's have a look at the smooth tool. Just click that and it smooths nicely. We don't have to worry about going into see vertex select and smooth vertices. We can just do it straight from the toolbar. It's all nice and easy. Although we have the shortcuts, the hotkeys that work. That's nice. Polybuild obviously builds the polys, so I can click up here and that goes weird, does something odd. I have no idea why that would do that. So there's still some work to be done here and there, a lot of bugs to be fixed. Let's see, what else shall we talk about quickly? Yeah, we no longer have a simple way just to choose our workspaces. However, we have these tabs along the top, so we can choose, and it says add workspace, duplicate current, and then we're given options. And it doesn't like us going from edit mode, so let's go to objects mode. Hopefully that will be fixed in one time or another. Oh yeah, we had an array on there, I forgot about that, so that's weird. Now if we click that, we can go to a different one. Motion tracking is still exactly the same as it looks in 2.9, however things have been moved around a little bit, but not too much. And if we were to open a clip, Dropbox, movie, there's a movie, that'll do, open clip. You'll see the toolbar is still in the old style, so there's work to be done on there. That hasn't happened yet. Priorities are given to object and edit mode. They've just improved the grease pencil. I'll put some links to Blender Today where Pablo goes through all the new tools in his live streams, so that's good. Pablo's one of the developers at the Blender Institute who does live streams on the new features and improvements that have been going on. If you're not already subscribed to that channel, I do recommend it. Let's see. Okay, so rendering. Yes, obviously the main feature of Blender 2.8 is the new render settings. And as we say, we have these new buttons which allow us to do shading and texturing. We can add shadows here, cavity maps. It doesn't like us doing that with this map cap at the moment for some reason. Let's try a different one. Let's try random material, and random materials don't actually randomize with the array. Okay, so that's good to know. However, if we have separate items, I shift D, you can see we are now getting different coloured objects, so we can easily refer to them as we are working on our scene. Let's delete that array. Let's delete the matte cap. Let's just have flat studio lighting, and we'll turn off X-ray so everything is solid. There we go, that's looking nice. So you can see we have individual colours for individual objects, and that's just Lighting Studio. It's got nothing to do with the actual textures that you might apply to it. It's just a viewport thing to help make things easier to see. Now, about the rendering. If we go to the render engine, you'll see we have this thing called Eevee. And if we go to the live view, Eevee is a real-time renderer. So if I go to materials, make it green, everything is green because they're all linked, I guess. So if I change that and change that to blue, you can see the materials are updated instantly, and we can use them in object mode, edit mode, and you can see the textures, the outlines, even the vertices, which is something in 2.7 in cycles. Let's just go to cycles render quickly, if it will let me. It's going to be lagging because I'm running two instances of Blender and OBS, so it's a bit tricky to work. Come on, cycles quickly. So back to the default view. Now if I add a material, use nodes, let's change that to green. You'll see nothing updates in here, so we have to go to the settings, viewport color, and change that to green. Now if we go to rendered view, you'll see we lose all the ability to see the outlines. It takes time to update the samples. You can't really tell with this because it's such a low poly model. It's just basically as it is on 12 samples as it will be on 32. There's not going to be much noise. However, let's just change, if we can, change, come on Slowboat, change this to GPU. This is probably going to kill my PC. Okay, so there we go, nice. It's fast, but you have the sampling that needs to be done before you can see what's going on. Also, if we go into edit mode, we are in edit mode, and whilst you can select, you can't see exactly what you're selecting, which is not ideal. However, 2.8, you can select, grab whatever you want, move it around, and it's being weird. If I grab, there we go. It is glitchy, it is buggy, don't forget, it's still a work in progress. However, if we slip over to cycles, whilst we still have the sampling update that needs to happen, change it to our GPU again. Okay, so while we still have the sampling that needs to happen, we do now have the editing mesh available to see within Blender, cycles, edit mode, and if we go to object mode, you can see the object selected is outlined, which would have been impossible in 2.79. So now you can see exactly what's going on in whatever render engine you're using, which is one of the really handy things, and it's a positive step forward. Okay, so the last thing is layers. You'll notice the little layer box. Object mode, the little layer box where you can Shift D that. You press M, move to layer, just stick it in there, and you can see where it is. and then you have your render layers and you can choose what's going on in here. There's all sorts of masking tools. Now it's a little bit more complicated because things have changed and our render layers are now up here for the time being. I think they're going to change this and make it more accessible, and I hope they are. It's been talked about. But right now, if I move, it says move to collection, and we can create a new collection, and it's in our outliner here, our new collection, and we can hide and unhide, or just hide it from the viewport. I'm not really sure exactly how this works. I mean, it's the same as the eye, it's just invisible, visible, invisible, visible. Makes no difference to me. I'm sure it will be useful as I come to understand it a bit more. I'm still learning this particular software. So now we've seen all that, render layers is quite a bit different. We have to create a new layer, and then with our new layer selected, we have to exclude things from certain layers. So with our collection 2, collection 1, and then if we switch back to render layers, all our things are seen. However, we can isolate again from, nope, that's wrong. Clear the exclude. And let's see, and exclude, we can exclude those. Wait, what? Doing something wrong. View layer, clear exclude. Right, let's try that again. This is collection 1, so we don't want this one. No? Okay, so I need to learn more about how this works. But you get the idea. You can set the object to be excluded per layer, so if you want this to appear only in one collection, you can set that, and if you want this to appear only in one collection, you can set that as well, and adjust the render layers accordingly. However, it is a little bit finagly, and I need to learn how to do that properly so I can show you guys how to do that properly and enjoy your future renders. Right, so that's about it. Another thing is that we have a new grease pencil object, which is no longer the annotation tool. It is actually, see, can't draw annotation with a grease pencil object active. Okay, right, that's fair enough. So we have the grease pencil. Let's go back to cursor select. We have the grease pencil, and now we have this draw mode, and we have a list of drawing things. So we can click draw pencil, and we draw pencil stroke, fill area. We have textures. We just have a grey texture at the moment. It's taking a bit of time to update, but if we fill that area, and we've just filled the entire scene. That's need some practice with that. This has only just been implemented in the past couple of days, and I haven't had a chance to practice with it yet, not properly anyway. So draw noise. How do I increase my brush size? Brush radius 100 pixels. Looks just the same. Draw blocks. That looks just the same. Okay. So yeah, I need practice with that. For some reason it's not doing what I wanted it to. not doing what I expected. It may well be because I am running two blenders and OBS at the same time, so it's bugging out on me. Okay, so that's not a problem, but it is going to be a problem later after I see what's going on. So there we go, that's 2.8 so far. We will be doing more videos, but what we're not going to be doing is we're not going to be doing any tutorials until 2.8 is released as a full alpha, a full release version. We will start doing the tutorials again as soon as the beta comes out, so we can give you the opportunity to start learning before the full release. But until then, we're going to probably do some live streams, hopefully, if my computer can handle it. I have tried live streaming on this PC before and it was a big disaster. However, I've got a better internet right now, so hopefully that will work nicely. We will see. See how it goes. In the meantime, if I'm not doing live streams, I will be doing some modelling playthroughs, so if you have any questions, I can be answering questions while I'm throwing some models together, then go ahead, mention in the comments, and I'll see what we can do for you. Until then, that is your first look on, well, it's probably not your first look if you've been following Blender for a while. This is your first look on this channel of 2.8. Hopefully it's going to be exciting for you. It's exciting for me. Sculpt mode, you can sculpt grease pencils now. Look, sculpting the grease pencil. This is quite an insane improvement to grease pencil. And again, on the Blender Today channel, Pablo, I've forgotten his surname, I'm so sorry. However, Pablo has been doing a couple of reviews on the grease pencil so far, and he shows us the power of this new, it's actually a 2D drawing tool for animation, so that's quite amazing. And if you've seen the Hero short movie on the Blender Foundation channel, that's also something entirely done in the new grease pencil, so you can see the power of that there. Okay, anyway, I'm going to sign off and start doing some stuff ready for the next video, and so I will see you then. Also, don't forget to check out our blog channel where we will be doing some more 2.8 stuff for bits of fun. Right, take care. We will see you very soon.